to that because you know what you feel like in your body when you get angry. And you have a choice when you are angry. And when you have that kind of a physiological response, when you get angry, it only takes 90 seconds. It takes 90 seconds from the moment that you feel that trigger happen and you feel yourself starting to get angry for the chemicals to flush through your body and then flush completely out of you. 90 seconds is all. So if you start feeling, next time, Oprah, next time you start feeling yourself getting angry, I want you to look at your watch.
And start timing it.
And start timing it. Within 90 seconds, it will be gone. And you'll go, okay, I just dodged that one.
Really?
Yeah.
So 90 seconds. So then why do people harbor the same feelings for years?
They keep rethinking the same thought that re-stimulates that emotional circuitry, and they rerun the loop.
Got it.
And so you might not think about a person for 20 years, but that person comes back into your mind, and you have this set thought pattern that goes in association with that person. Oh, they done me wrong, and they haven't done me wrong for 20 years, but it's all I'm thinking about. I think of that person, they done me wrong, and I hook right back into that hostility, and I'm going to run it again. And I can stay angry. People can stay angry for days and weeks and years. It's phenomenal. Just because they're choosing, either consciously or unconsciously, they're choosing to rerun the loops, the circuitry.
So what purpose does that? You talked about the little that's the size of a peanut in our brain that holds all of those memories and thoughts. What purpose does it serve?
Well,
what's it there for?
The storyteller is a very important part of our brain because when you look out into the world, what the storyteller does is it takes this piece of information, that piece of information, and then starts weaving possibilities, all of the what-ifs. And you want to know what your what-if possibilities are in the world because that way it allows you to move freely into your future, into the world to be able to create. But at the same time, it can wreak havoc on you emotionally.
What would happen if you surgically removed it?
You wouldn't have any language. That would be an issue.
Got it.
You have to have the language. It's the price we pay. It's one of the prices we pay. The ego is one of the prices we pay for language.
For language.
The storyteller is one of the prices we pay for language. It's all part of the very complex structure in our brains of what language brings us.
But now that you've seen it so clearly, being able to view it predominantly from the right hemisphere of your brain, you now know that you can pick and choose whenever you want. Yeah. And that we all have the ability to do the same.
We all have that ability. You have the ability to focus your mind on whatever you want to focus it on. And if you got loops, if you're running loops obsessively in your mind that you don't want to think about, then give your mind something else to think about. That's how easy it is. You have the ability to refocus your mind. And you can only really think one thought at a time. So you get to have some say in what's actually going on.
There was a friend of yours, I love that too, Dr. Jerry Jessup, who said that peace is the place where we should begin, not the place where we're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
What does that mean to you?
To me, that means stem from the consciousness of the intention of the right hemisphere. Who is that right hemisphere piece of me? She is connected to all that is. She's a member of a human family. She's about nurturing our relationship with one another and our relationship for the thriving ability of the planet. So it's that right hemisphere consciousness. Come into the world with the intention from that heartfelt position, that awareness, and then use the tools of the left hemisphere in order to be productive and to create in the external world.
So do you think that you've been following us with Eckhart, do you think the New Earth is a place to begin?
I think it's a wonderful place. I have been so enthusiastically supportive of what you guys are doing because the number one message on day one is pay attention to your thoughts. You're not your thoughts. And from a brain perspective, that is so absolutely true. The left hemisphere has this little group of cells, and so many of us have decided that that is who we are. And that's only because we have not been taught as children that we have these other options.
Do you think it's easy to teach this to children?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because they're like that. Children are happy and they're in the present. And then we put them in school and we really educate their left hemisphere. And then we start rewarding the left hemisphere personality for its achievement. So some of them become very, very good at those details. So if you're struggling to find your own deep inner peace, commend yourself. What that means is that you did a great job in school developing your left hemisphere and its abilities, but that's not the only thing that's going on inside of your head. And you do have the ability to utilize any of your systems, utilize your sensory systems, give yourself fragrance of certain smells that you love and come to the present moment. Have that sensory experience. Use your muscles, squeeze your muscles, think about it consciously, bring yourself to the present moment. Use the normal anatomy of what you are as a living being in order to stimulate you and bring you back to the present moment.
I remember years ago reading in the article from O Magazine where you said you hold your own hand at night. Sometimes you squeeze your own hand at night.
I do.
To remind you.
I still do. I hold my hand at night, wrap around the pillow, and I say thank you. I say thank you for this life. Thank you for this life. These cells, without these cells, I wouldn't be here. And so it is my absolute intention and obligation to them to pay attention to their well-being. And I ask them to heal me. I ask them to heal me. I'm going to be asleep.
Do you pray to God? Do you pray to God? Or do you call it God?
I don't call it God. I don't label it. As Eckhart would say, I don't label it. I just am it, and I value and celebrate whatever it is. So I'm not attached to the language. The same thing as people ask me, are you religious? And it's like, to me, religious is the story. It's the labeling of people use in order to get to
this feeling that you have.
And I don't have to go through the story, but I honor the stories. I don't care what your story is, as long as it gets you to the same place of love and peace and compassion.
Well, they call you the singing scientist, and I see that guitar. Can you demonstrate for us why you're the singing scientist?
It's it'll take about 60 seconds, but I sing for brains.
You sing for brains.
I sing for brains. There's a shortage of brains donated for research, and so I'd go out and I'd talk to audiences, and they'd freak out a little. This woman wants my brain, so I wrote the Brain Bank jingle.
And here we go with the Brain Bank jingle, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I am a brain banker, yes. Banking brains is what I do. Oh, I am a brain banker, asking for a deposit from you. Don't worry, I'm in no hurry. Have you considered the contribution you can make when you are heaven bound? Your brain can hang around to help humanity find the key to unlock this thing we call insanity. Just dial 1-800-BRAIN-BANK for information, please. Educate, then donate. It's free. Oh, I am a brain banker, yes. Banking brains is what I do. Oh, I am a brain banker, asking for a deposit from you.
Call 1-800-BRAIN-BANK.
Beautiful.
Oh, my goodness.
It's what I do.
Yes.
It's what I do.
And because of that song going around for NAMI, you have gotten substantial contributions. People donating brains. You need more brains.
Scientists could utilize 100 brains a year from the psychiatric diagnosed population. And currently, before I started singing, we were getting 2 or 3 a year.
Wow.
And now we're getting 25 to 35 a year, but we could use 100.
Oh, I think that number is going to go up for you.
Excellent. Thank you.
So you want just from psychologically diagnosed?
Anybody. Psychologically diagnosed or any family member of those individuals, as well as normal control. There's a shortage of normal control donated as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a joy being able to share this time with you.
Thank you.
All of the, I'm glad you had a stroke of insight.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm glad you had a stroke of insight.
Yeah, no, if I could go back that day and not do it again, I would say no. If I could wake up that morning and say, no, I'm not going to have that, I would have it.
I would choose to have it.
I would choose to have it. I have learned so much. I have grown so much as a human being, and I just really feel like I have identified my purpose.
And the purpose is?
To help other people recognize that they, too, have deep inner peace right there in the right hemisphere.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Stroke triumphant.
Stroke triumphant. Nice.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. I'm hoping that we all learn from your experience, really. And that we all gain our own strokes of insight from
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you again. Thanks for joining us here on XM 156, on the web, on the radio show, on the TV show, on our multi-platforms, wherever we are. Thanks, everybody.